I won a DMR in 2018, and all I got to show for it is this lousy shirt. Hey everyone, welcome back to the Running Through Podcast YouTube page. I am Justin Hoyniker. Today we're going to talk about Division 3. More importantly, NCAA Fall Championships. But we're going to focus on Division 3 for now, because it was announced today that Division 3 Fall Championships were canceled. They weren't going to have them. Obviously, it impacts cross country, which is something near and dear to my heart, but it impacts all fall sports and probably winter and spring too. We just don't know where we're going to be at yet. This is coming off the heels of NCAA making an announcement yesterday that there would be some major changes in what we're going to do this fall, with a lot of schools opting to go off campus, and just with all the uncertainty around the coronavirus here in the States. And, honestly, college kids traveling across the country for different meets and whatnot isn't a good idea. And to make it specifically at the D3 level, you're talking 12-hour bus rides from places that are hotbeds of the coronavirus to places that aren't, and vice versa. And it's just bad optics and a bad idea to... If you sign up for college athletics, you're not signing up to risk your life. So ultimately this is a good thing. It's going to completely suck for the athletes, because you're now missing back-to-back seasons of championships at the spring of the track and in fall cross country. So that hurts. If this is your prime age, you have 1 year to do it if you're going into a senior year. And especially for D3 runners, you're not on a scholarship. So you're not going to have the luxury of being able to have your scholarship next year. Luckily, D1 runners and D2 runners, NCAA has said that scholarships cannot be affected if you don't feel comfortable competing in your sport this year, or if the sport is canceled, so to speak. Now, with D3 runners, you don't have that luxury, because D3, if you don't know, D3 runners don't receive athletics scholarships. They might receive some extra money academically. I know I benefited from that. Or they might get, they're not supposed to, but let's be honest here, they might get preferential treatment on orders into programs and into the school itself, with some pestering from the coach, which is how I got some extra scholarship money. But most Division 3 runners are running their 16 to 18 credit hours a semester. They're probably working a job. I worked a 20-hour-a-week job in college while I was running, while I was going to school, and trying to have some semblance of a social life, which I really didn't outside of my family. So you're asking a lot of these runners who are putting in so much dedication, who are putting in such a heavy effort to make this happen, and now they don't get that championship. So now you're working 4 years towards something, your senior year. If this was me, my senior year was my best year. Senior year, I set the school record in the 1500. I set the school record in the 3K indoors, and I was all conference in cross country out in the fall. So you're potentially losing out on, not that it matters in the grand scheme of things, but you put in all this effort for 4 years. You want to have something come out of it. So I'm just trying to put myself in the shoes of these athletes who aren't going to have that senior year now, are going to miss out on fantastic races, PRs, potential NCAA championship, who don't have the luxury of putting off their scholarship for a year or hanging on to their scholarship for a year because they don't have that scholarship. Now, that isn't to say that this is absolutely the right decision. Like I said earlier, we don't want to be busing, in some cases, flying athletes around, and especially budget-strapped colleges like most D3 cross-country programs are. And all of the kind of jockeying around they have to do as a cross-country athlete. I know Brett Gimmer is going to hate me for telling this story, but the UMKC athletes had to fly, take a car, and get on another plane, all to just get home from their conference meet in indoor track and field. So you're talking about, even on the D1 level, but it's already low. That's going to yield itself towards more odd travel situations and not being able to, isolate as much as they need to. You can't establish a bubble when you have member institutions all across the country and not enough of a budget to set up a bubble. It makes it tough. Let me know what you think. Is the NCAA doing the right thing? How are you feeling? Are you a Division III athlete? What are your thoughts? I put this out there on Twitter, but I just want to put this out there in this video as well. If you are a D3 athlete, if you need help kind of figuring out where to go next, if you need help with training, if you need help with anything, especially even if it's just a talk, even if it's just a talk to how you're feeling right now, my DMs are always open. You can always hit me up there. You can email me, hornickerjustin@gmail.com, @hornickerjustin on Twitter, Instagram. DM me. I'm always free to talk. I know how hard it can be. I had to take a semester off in college and it gutted me. So hopefully you can kind of see the bright side. It doesn't make it any easier. It still sucks anywhere you look at it. The idea that we're in this pandemic and you have to miss out on your potential only shot at NCAA's, only shot at senior year glory, or you just don't have your team is a big thing too. If I didn't have my team in college, I wouldn't have had any social interaction. So it's hard on all fronts when you picture a team as a family and you're going to have to miss out on that. So hopefully that kind of keeps you abreast of the situation. I would assume that we're going to hear about D1 and D2 shortly as well. And those are tougher. When you get to D1 level, you're talking about football now as well, which is the moneymaker for almost the whole collegiate system. So we'll see what happens there. But in the meantime, thanks for stopping by. Thanks for hanging out with me. Happy running. We'll talk soon.